Q&A. Fanmail! Lovely. I have 4 packages, and I'm really looking forward to opening a couple of them. I need some good stuff here. No major news. End of the year project is most of the way finished. I'm just working on the cosmetics, and I'm really looking forward to doing the video on that, so that should be fun. I have plans for some new series that I will be starting next year, and you guys will get to have some input on a lot of those, so that should be fun. And eventually, once I decide which events I'm going to, I will announce that. But in the meantime, we're going to answer some questions. And while I am starting with a Christmas hat, I have yet to bring my hat bins back up to storage since Foam's giving, and so every question is getting its own hat. See if you can spot the pattern. Sir Galahad 19. If a pterodactyl and a squirrel went kayaking on a moose, how many melons would it take to see the smell of defenestration? Orcas, because Buddha, but not Pesht. TW 3004. What are some types of indoor locations that could possibly be used for an indoor venue? Well, obviously, schools, if their gymnasium is open, or even if their hallways are open, that would be even better. Malls, especially, shut down malls or overnight, like Mall Madness. Some malls actually have, like, empty locations, like a Macy's that went out of business. They might have a whole room that they might be willing to rent. Indoor, like, laser tag arenas, airsoft arenas, some of those things do exist. Churches are one that you should also look into. They usually aren't going to probably let you Nerf in the chapel, but if they have, an attached complex, often they will have a youth center or, rooms or what have you. I've Nerfed in at least 2 of those, I believe. Yeah, if you have your own cover, then empty buildings, if there's a Kmart that's gone out of business, you might be able to use that. Ask around. Contact the city, contact it would be probably the Chamber of Commerce, maybe. They might have something. And you can also just ask around. So, yeah. One Scimitar. Have you thought about posting novelizations of Captain Xavier's exploits to r/HFY? No. I avoid Reddit with a reckless abandon because it is a fetid, festering cesspit of humanity. NBL USMC. What exactly do you keep in the Nerf War admin box? So in my admin box I have team flags, I have stopwatches, I have chess clocks, I have flags for capture the flag, I have various other MacGuffins that fit into there, chronograph. I should get a first aid kit in there. I don't actually have one yet. I have, what else do I have in there? Pingers for Pinger HVZ, which are basically just more stopwatches. I have, what else do I have in there? Admin vests. I think that's it. That's most of it. That's a good start, anyway. Mitch Cusk. Do you think you might come to Foam Fest? In 2024, the only way I would be going to Foam Fest is if someone else pays for my ticket. I've been to Europe the last 2 years in a row, and my travel budget desperately needs to recover. So, I'm not planning to in 2024. I am planning to return to Europe in 2025. So, we will see. Second question, how would you get an X-shot, long shot, to 120 FPS? Put in a weaker spring. I'm not sure what spring. I don't know which spring you would need, but I'm pretty sure just putting in a weak enough spring would probably do it. I know someone at Afterworlds, I think Ichiro at Afterworlds was running a long shot, and they cap at 120, so he had to have been able to get it down that low. But yeah, find the right spring. I have no idea which it is. Big picture. What is your favorite music genre outside of classical? Anything you can swing dance to. I'm a huge fan of swing dance, East Coast, West Coast, Balboa, Charleston, Lindy Hop, all of those. Anything you can dance to, those two is my go-to. It's my jam. I love swing dancing. Stardust Controller. How do you keep your root beer cold as you're drinking it? And 2, how long do you keep it cold before opening it? So I just have root beer that I keep in the fridge until I feel like drinking it. I've got my reserve is not in a fridge. And as for how I keep it cold, ice cream. You make a root beer float. How else would you do it? Colin Vanneman. Have you ever thought of having a blaster that has a fully rifled barrel? No. Nope. Never considered it. Don't think it's necessary. Don't think it would help. Might though. I wonder if anyone's tried it. Surely someone's tried it. Aha! Ah, direct hit! Blender vendor. Where is a good place to find mules for smuggling blasters into Australia? Travel sites for people planning to go to Australia? I'm planning to go to Australia possibly next year. So, maybe. Depends on what, luggage costs are. Yeah, shipping down under can be rough. I've shipped a few things to Australia. It wasn't cheap. Though shipping to England was more expensive, which is just weird. The internet! Somewhere on the dark web, I'm sure. There are smugglers are us. B-Smite. What are your thoughts on the double punch as an HVZ blaster? So I actually literally just ordered a double punch because they're on sale on Amazon. And I've heard that it's a fabulous blaster. I don't know that I would use it for HVZ because, as I understand it, a single full trigger pull fires 2 rounds. And if your trigger discipline isn't great, you're going to be firing 2 shots every time, and you're going to end up wasting a lot of ammo. You could obviously only load one side of the mag, only one side, I assume, and it would just fire that one side. You could also pull and have it ready to release for a second shot, which is if you had good discipline, you could do that. You just pull and fire. Though I think you'd have to be revving the whole time, and that might end up wearing down your battery. I won't know until I've actually seen it. But it's a flywheeler, magazine fed. It hits most of the boxes. That whole dual magazine system is where it could get a little squiffy, and I won't know until I get one. So once I get it, I'll talk about it probably at some point. Godsire69. What does one have to do to come visit the makerspace? For the most part, it's a matter of scheduling a time when I'm available and when you're going to be in the area. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, it's fairly easy. If you're not in the Pacific Northwest, it's a lot more difficult. But step 1 is reach out to me, and we can try to work something out, if at all possible. TimHaven.j. Would it be wise to try and print anything Nerf-related on my resin printer? Probably. I don't know much about resin printers and what the structural integrity of the prints. I know they can be very precise. You could definitely print things like triggers and various internal components and whatnot. I don't know how printing a whole blaster would work because I don't know, like I said, the structural integrity, how strong it is, how brittle it is. I understand that it's fairly strong, but that also means that it's fairly brittle. Like if you drop it, is it going to shatter? Is it prone to cracking? I've had some resin stuff crack fairly badly. So I don't know. I'm not the person to ask, but I have seen stuff resin cast, so maybe it's worth a try anyway. John Riverstone. Do you have any upgrade recommendations for the Apollo? So aside from various cosmetic kits, I think there actually are also pump kits out there. Spring upgrade. Though you can't really go too much heavier than a stock Nerf Apollo spring. They're practically K26 anyway. Most of the rival blasters are. You can get a little bit more power out of it, but you often will then lose accuracy because unless you trim down the hop up to accommodate for the change in velocity, because the hop up is designed very specifically for the velocity at the stock spring. If you're lucky, you've got the one with the metal gears, and then you should be able to put a fairly heavy spring in there. So, yeah, good luck with that. Dylan RM1GD. I recently upgraded my modulus long strike, but my darts are fishtailing. Is there an easy fix other than undoing the mod? So typically with springers, fishtailing is a result of having more power than you have barrel, which I think someone actually commented this. And it's resulting in the excess air hitting the back of the dart and causing it to flail about. At least that's the theory. How true that is, I don't really know. So you're either going to need to reduce the power a little bit to get down to where it does work, or you're going to need to improve your breach. You can try doing a simple brass breach, which you can do on those blasters. It's just a matter of inserting brass into the existing bolt and flaring it so it'll actually seat. That can work, it might help, or you might have to go to a full sealed breach, in which case you're probably going to have to mod it even further, depending on how long of a barrel you put on the sealed breach. I don't know if anyone ever made a sealed breach for the modulus long strike. You might have to make your own. I know guides for that probably exist, so yeah, let me know if it works. Train! Comic Nerd 101A. Question 1. Do you ever miss the old auxiliary as it used to be? I miss some aspects of it. There were some really cool aspects of that whole community organization, but there are a lot of things I also don't miss about it. And those are, of course, the things that kind of ultimately led to it going in the direction that it did, getting shifted into a separate actual Nerf community, and then rolling back to an actual dedicated auxiliary force, which is what was always the original intention. And that has allowed me to do what I originally wanted to do with the auxiliary, but it very much got away and grew into something else, which was a wonderful thing, but wasn't something that I could deal with at the time. A lot of the big, ostentatious, big grand plans that I had for trying to help improve the hobby in general and the community are now being taken up by the World Foam Alliance, and it is far, far better suited to try to take on that task than I ever could, and that I think the auxiliary could. It's being done by professionals, it's being done slowly and methodically, and it's being built up with the proper infrastructure, and I think it has a much better chance of actually succeeding. So hopefully I will still get to do many of the things that I hoped to do with the auxiliary, but through helping the World Foam Alliance with their goals. 2. How many members of the crew are there? At this point, I'm not actually sure. We've got a roster somewhere, but it hasn't been updated in a while. We've also had a lot of people move on with their lives, and I don't know if they would still consider themselves to be in the crew, though we've got people who are still on the roster from 15 some odd years ago, and I probably haven't seen them since, but they're still on the books, so. I think at our height we had something like 35 to 40. I think we fielded close to 30 in one war, was the most we ever had on the field at one time. But I don't actually know exactly. 3. Have you ever read the Halo novels, comics, or the Doom novel and comics? I have read a couple of the Halo novels, though I couldn't tell you which ones. They were lent to me by crewman Rocket, who is a huge fan of Halo. I don't think I've read any of the comics, and I haven't read any of the Doom novels or comics. I really need to start getting into my Black Library and reading the 40K books I've been given, because there's so many, and I'm so looking forward to reading them. So, yeah. Have you? Do you like them? Are they good? What are your thoughts on Duck Squad? I never really knew what Duck Squad was about, to be perfectly honest, although they have sent me an inordinate number of ducks, which is fabulous. I do want to make a duck loadout. I liked the idea. It seemed, what little I knew about it, it seemed very cool, and I liked that they sent me ducks, which is something that had been done long before. I was giving ducks back when I was doing medieval recreation. When I became the Duke, people gave me ducks. I've got an armored duck and a large black duck and a couple of other silly ducks. And finally, Phantom Zone Minecraft. Are people from Australia allowed to join the World Foam Alliance? It's the World Foam Alliance. I can't imagine why you wouldn't be. In fact, you are highly encouraged to. So yes, people in Australia are allowed and encouraged. Tell your friends to tell their friends, tell everybody. Get the World Foam Alliance going so that we can have a lot more fun, get more people connected, get people into the hobby, get people connected who are already in the hobby with other people in the hobby so that they can actually take part in the hobby. The number of people I know that are into Nerf but have never actually been to an event because there aren't any locally or don't think there's one locally is baffling. That's why we're building the World Foam Alliance. Join the World Foam Alliance! Slight hit. Alright, we're going to get into the package after these potential messages. have no idea if they actually give me money for those, but I'm going to keep doing it just in case. Alright. No more hats. We have... I'm actually going to save the smallest one for last for reasons. We're going to take a look at the largest one. A note! Greetings, Captain Xavier. I hope this letter finds you well. It does. Trying to make it sound like a letter received on the warfront. I wanted to thank you for the many hours of entertainment and education on Nerf blasters and modification, especially like can I take a K-26. And I thought, what better way to thank you than to give you a blaster that I don't think you have. Included is a Corsair by Bruce Litt Dynamics, printed in PETG by Fanmail. I have the blaster set up to be able to field strip and replace the elastic cord by making a little paper pegs to go under the two front pegs. It can fire half-length, elite, and when you remove the adapter, it can fire mega darts. Demonstration video on how to remove the adapter. Can also be hard to get the back end of the foam dart and misfire if the dart is too used. I look forward to meeting you in person this summer at the PNNC Nerf Wars. Hope you have a great day. Nostromo, Joseph Gregoire. Well, that is awesome. I'm pretty sure I don't have whatever blaster that is, because I have never even heard of it. Aha! That is fantastic! It's in my colors. Look at that. That is really cool. That was really well done. It's break action, similar to the crossbows I was recently sent, but this one is just a stringer. That is really cool. Yep. And, aha! Yep, now it will fire Mega. That is probably the coolest part. That is a really neat way to have a Mega Blaster, and that would almost certainly fit beautifully in a AA K pouch. That may become my go-to Mega for like Super Zombies and such, because that is just svelte, and I like it. That is super, super cool. Thank you. Yes, that is awesome. I do hope to see you this summer. Alright, we're going to go to the next size down. We have a package here from Darth Tanion. Darth Tanion? A note! Greetings, Captain. First off, a long overdue thanks for what you do and other creators and personalities do for the Nerf hobby. My friend and I used to do Nerf battles many years ago. Sadly, we eventually sort of drifted away from it. Fast forward to 2018, 2019, and I spotted a retaliator on the clearance rack at my local Walmart. Needless to say, I grabbed it and soon after delightfully discovered all of you folks on YouTube and found that not only was Nerf Battle still around, it was thriving. So thanks again for keeping it going. Now on to the thing in the box. Say hello to the Frankenswapper. Frankenswapper? I have so many questions. By the way, apologies in advance in case it suffers structural problems. I was working fine and seemed sound when I was testing it before packing, but it's a rather old blaster. Got it off eBay. I can't say for sure how well or how long the plastic will hold up. Hopefully a good long while, just in case. We used these Supermax 500s way back when we were new and had a blast with them. Despite the manual rotation, we managed a fairly good rate of fire with them. 2 to 4 pumps fire, and then rotate the turret with the thumb of the pump hand. This one obviously is modded. The burp valve, your more technical youngsters call it the overpressure valve, OPV, has been plugged rather permanently with a bit of paper towel and some crazy glue. That's old school. Needless to say, I'm not what could be properly called mechanically inclined. Hey, if it works, man, if it works. By the way, the red tape on the trigger guard is my lazy way of marking blasters that I've given some internal power affecting mod to. Not a bad plan. Most obvious mod, of course, is the barrel attachments. These are all out of Dart's little rocket muzzle adapters. The barrel housings tend to crack when the adapters are shoved in, but I don't have haven't had anything fail catastrophically. So they're reinforced with zip ties, which are glued in place to keep them from slipping. I also sealed the cracks with glue. It's not elegant or fancy by any means, but it works. The bigger barrels, Mega XL, 3 to 6 dart, 5 to 10 dart, etc., tend to interfere with the adjustment mounts, but you can attach them across from each other. The inline clip likes to act as sort of a shotgun. Yeah, it tends to happen with air pressure blasters. The Elite barrel is getting easily 140, 150 FPS with 4 pumps. I don't want to stress the tank with more. Using Adventure Force waffles, I often have to put a lot of darts through my little chrono to get a good average, so I'm guessing you'll want to test it with your bigger one to make sure. The Sniper barrel can make for a good narrow shotgun attachment if you stuff it full of half darts. I've made 3 of these, 2 with the burp with the overpressure valve plugged, so I figure I should send you one in the hopes that someone over there will be able to get some use and fun out of it. Sincerely, Darth Tanion. Alright, let's take a look at this. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, that is amazing. No attachments. Luckily, I happen to have the attachments. So they've taken an old Laramie Supermax 1500 and put 4 Dart Zone little rocket attachments. That is brilliant. I mean, because you can decide which barrels you want to put on there and rotate to that. So you could have 3 that are firing elites or half darts or whatever, and have 1 that's mega that you're just saving until you need to bust that shield, and you just keep reloading and reswapping. That is genius. I dig it. I dig the jank as well. This is old school modding. This is good stuff. I approve and I appreciate it. I will definitely endeavor. Oh, yeah, that's a good seal. Yes! Oh, I will definitely endeavor to get some use out of this. That is cool. That is cool. Oh, the tape. Yeah. That I should do something like that. Because every once in a while I'll be digging through a random bin and like, oh, this has K26 in it. That wasn't the plan. That is really cool, sir. Thank you. Very, very cool. Hooray! 2 blasters so far. This is good fan. Alright, we have the next one down from hourglassmods. Very cool. Come on. A note! Thank you for the fun content and what you do for the hobby. Included are the parts and hardware. Email me if you have any questions. Thanks again. Merry Christmas! I have... Oh, yeah! This is a Spaz 12 mod kit. I don't remember which blaster it's supposed to go on now. But it's a Spaz 12 stock, pump, shells, trigger. I'll have to check my emails. I think it's for, I want to say the Dictator. It's either the Dictator or the other one. But I'm pretty sure it's for one of those. And then these are shotgun things that you can just shove in the barrel. Is it? Oh, okay. Very cool. That all seems to make sense. Except I'm pretty sure I got that in there backwards. Yep, now the things line up. The bolts necessary. Oh, I even sent the hardware. Oh, isn't that thoughtful? Awesome, 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 awesome. Very, very cool. Alright, well, there will be a video on that once I get it installed. That is so cool. Oh, yeah, it does lie flat. Nice! Cool. I might actually have a use for those particular blasters now, especially with those shells. Those shells are cool. All right. Very cool. Stay tuned for a video on that at some point. Just the coolest stuff today. And finally, the one I was saving for last is a small package that has come to me from, I believe, Germany. Or at least it went through Germany at some point, because it went through Deutsche Post. So, and it sounds like happiness. Very good, very good. Most excellent. It is some Nexo. A Nexo Knight Lego figure and a Ninjago Lego figure. Very, very cool. Macy. Ooh, okay. That is awesome. Most excellent. You never have too many figs. At this point, one of my big problems is I've been doing army building for so long, and I have used up all of my minifig parts. I'm like out of legs and arms, and I have no heads left. And so any parts I can definitely find a use for. And that one's just... I'm gonna have to try to build like a special dragon rider around using her, because that's just really cool looking. Very, very cool. Thank you. Awesome, awesome stuff. As always, thank you for the loot. Thank you for your questions. If you would like to ask a question, ask it in the comments of this video. That's where I pull the questions from for the next fan mail. If you, for some reason, wish to mail me something because you are awesome and want to see me geek out about it, mailing address is also in the description. No pressure whatsoever. I do not expect things, but I do appreciate them. And I got some really cool stuff this time. So thank you, as always, and thank you for watching.